some lessons here, all right?
Yeah, I thought for sure you guys would go around that pole and not follow through with the vehicle.
Look, last thing we're going to have during this conversation is any kind of, excuses. If I was upset, I'd be yelling at you. At the end of the day, I want you all to get better, and that's the only thing that matters. So I want everyone to kind of listen up, all right? Now, if you know some of these things, it's fine, all right? Wait, give me a second. Let me just turn this off. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it's just some guy that shot a gun out of a vehicle, so it's not the end of the world. But what I want coming out of this is that each one of y'all take this as a lesson. If you already know it, all the better, all right? So,
yes, sir.
First and foremost, we did a felony stop. Raise your hand if and tell me if you know how many units are supposed to be on that felony stop. Go ahead.
3, sir.
3. Okay. Cadet, what are the two front units intended for?
Two front units are intended to initiate the. I don't want to say apprehension, but demand the driver to step out of the vehicle holding lethal firearms.
Let's have everyone yell here, just so we can hear you properly.
The two front cars, sir. That would be the two units are to initiate into demanding orders at the driver to step out of the vehicle, put his hands up, look through his eyes, and walk.
This guy's fucking good.
Backwards towards the sound of your voice.
Okay. All right. Very good. What about the third unit?
Third unit is supposed to be watching the rear, holding all angles, making sure nobody creeps up on us and takes us out from the rear.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Fantastic. All right. If the driver gets in the vehicle, we need to be quickly hopping in and jumping on that pursuit. All right. We'll always assume one of 3 things is going to happen, right? Either guy's going to not give a fuck and he's going to start blasting us, right? Which is why the felony's being set up that way. Number 2, driver's going to give himself up. Or number 3, he's going to hop in the car and then dip. So you need to be prepared for all 3 of those options. Next, what happens when you VCB? You got a primary unit, you VCB. What do you communicate? Raise your hand if you know. In the very right with the yellow hair. What's your name?
It's Stone.
Stone.
Officer Stone. Yep.
Probationary Officer Stone. Let's say you VCB. You're driving by. You have long eyes. You lose contact westbound Eclipse Boulevard by Up and Adam. What do you communicate?
You want to communicate that?
Say it out loud. Like role play it out. What would you say?
Yeah, 902 VCB on this 1080 westbound.
Nope. Shorter, quicker. Tinker,
VCB,
you give it a shot.
Unit.
Yeah. VCB westbound, the main street, whatever it's on. It's gonna be the color description of the vehicle.
Too long. Gus.
Well, no, VCB yellow color 2-door vehicle, westbound, last known direction.
So
probably.
we lost a. We're going eastbound. Or sorry, we're going westbound Eclipse Boulevard by Up and Adam. You had long eyes. It VCB'd, right? Gus, what do you say?
VCB, last seen westbound, Adams Apple or Eclipse Boulevard.
All right. I need it shorter and quicker.
Vehicle, VCB.
Shorter and quicker. And Tinker, why is it shorter and quicker?
You kill the fluff so people can know exactly where, when, and precisely where to find and look for it.
That is right. Yep.
Matter.
All right. So, and then let's say your secondary and third unit. What do you say? What do you do? What is your action that you take? The moment you hear, let's say Tinker says VCB, right? Westbound Eclipse by Up and Adam.
I would run parallels around Up and Adam, sir.
Okay, good. And what do you mean exactly? Like, what would that parallel look like?
Patrol. I would circle the area around the perimeter where the last site was.
Okay, good answer. Gus, what do you think?
Yeah, code 6.
Okay, more specific.
Look for the vehicle in the area. Patrol around.
Gus, you know the area
Close.
well. So let's say we VCB'd westbound by Up and Adam. Where would you send it?
I would start going westbound.
Okay.
Up and down.
You just go straight going west. That's it.
Would that be? Am I the primary or secondary?
Your secondary, tertiary unit.
Oh, then I would fan out
Okay. All right.
and circumference the area.
All right. Yeah. So let's do some specifics. You know where Up and Adam is, right? Westbound
Yeah,
Eclipse.
it's on-
Where would you go?
Yeah, it's on. I'd probably go up into the hills.
Okay.
That's like
All right.
Where I would go.
And probationary officer, what would you do?
Yeah, I would definitely go up in picture perfect area
All right.
there.
All right.
Try to catch
Easy.
those corners.
The main point that I'm trying to draw here, and I want you guys thinking, right, is now this didn't happen this chase, luckily, but I do want to start drilling back the idea of the moment you VCB, right, you're giving quick, clear comms, like the additional information. Is that in the SOP slide document, Tinker? It might be. I don't know.
You want to do so like landmarks, yes, but you're not supposed to be doing fluff.
You're not supposed
so-
to fluff, did you say?
Yeah, I call it fluff.
I agree with that. Yeah. Well, I want to like, and the reason I stopped us earlier, Gus, when Gus comes back, we can continue on to the next thing. The
Yeah,
main thing I
pop-
wanted to drive there, right, is like doing this whole like, 1080, the fucking color of the car and all this shit. Like, all that is, we're all on the chase. If we have people on the chase that don't even know what the vehicle is at that point, it's kind of ripbozo anyways, right?
Yeah, it's
So
pretty bad.
I want it like quick, like VCB last seen westbound by Eclipse Up and Adam, right? The faster you can get that out, the faster the other units can start responding. And the immediate thing you want to be thinking about in the back of your mind is this vehicle was going at a high rate of speed in this direction. Where would he have broken off to, right? Because most people are, that primary unit can continue sending it in the last known direction. But for the parallel units, they need to start thinking about where did he turn left? Where did he turn north? And I'm going to go as far as saying that you should communicate out where you are going to be code 6ing and in what direction. So that way, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary, or whatever the fuck the fourth unit's called, doesn't end up going in the same direction. So when Gus comes back, I want to hit up the Spike conversation as well. And
Yeah,
one more
absolutely,
thing.
yes, sir.
Once again, I want to make this really clear. Y'all are not in trouble. It's just, look, here's the fact of the matter. We're not there yet. We're not. And so there's going to be a lot of these conversations, and they're going to be happening often. And what I want everyone to walk away with is, hey, I learned one or two things from this conversation. I'm going to try to implement it on my on the rest of for the rest of the week.
100%.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
What happens if we don't do that?
It gets
Fail,
rough.
sir.
Yeah, it gets
Yep.
rocky. People start doing their own thing,
Right.
get lost in the sauce.
We continue to say, man, that could have been better, but you know what? That sucks. And then the next one happens. We say the same thing, and it goes over and over and over again. And then when Changang is fucking us up the ass, we're like, damn, man, we need faster cars. We need better guns because this is just unfair. But the reality is that we never went through the consistent training. I mean, think about it. Like how, like what happens in a football team, right? Actually, you know what? Fuck those other sports. Y'all watch UFC?
Yes, sir.
How many times do fighters go into a boot camp?
A lot.
A lot.
Every time they
All the
fight.
time. Y'all
Yes.
watch Habib Nurmagomedov?
Except for the recent fight between Sean O'Malley, I feel like that was kind of a struggle, kind of disappointing. But
Yep.
Yeah, who won that one?
not Sean O'Malley.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's right. They don't say, you know what? You know what? I got trained once. That's it. No, they keep going to those fight camps over and over and over again. And not just one place, they go to multiple gyms. And that's kind of like sort of the philosophy that I've always lived by. All right, next up. One thing I want us to improve on, and this is something that's very important, right? Parallel units are not, once you're parallel, once you're primary, once you're secondary, once you're parallel, whatever it is, that is not like your, what what's the word I'm looking for? You're not locked into that position the entirety of the chase. Now, I'm
Priority.
going to be rather straightforward. If I'm in a chase with a very fast vehicle, I probably want to link up with Tinker just because him and I kind of vibe off well on a chase. If you end up seeing me pull someone in specifically, there's probably a reason for it. Nothing personal. The rest of y'all will get there eventually. But here's the thing. If you are the tertiary unit, you're not permanently tertiary, right? The priority of the chase needs to go as follows. We have a primary unit, then a secondary unit, then a tertiary unit. If we only have a single vehicle on that chase, and especially if the distance between primary and the target vehicle starts to extend, like you hear something over the comms like, I've got long eyes. Every single unit on the chase needs to do whatever they can in order to either help close the gap or start aiming to get secondary. Now, here's the beauty. Parallel is not strictly for laying down spikes and for blocking. Paralleling, a good driver will use parallels in order to close the gap. Does everyone understand that last point and how that's possible and how it works? Raise your hand if you do.
I kind of do, sir. However, I'd like you to elaborate a little bit more. For me.
Okay, absolutely. We're gonna do
I
some
raised my
math.
hand.
How many of you guys have taken trig?
I'm really good at math, sir.
All right. Do you know what the
You do your
Pythagorean?
A-levels, guys?
Raise your hand if you know what the Pythagorean theorem is.
I have no idea what that is, sir.
That sounds awesome.
Do you know what a squared plus b squared equals c squared is?
Yeah, it's a triangle.
It's 0.032.
Wait, y'all. Wait, I don't know if you guys are trolling right now. Do you?
I think that's pi.
That is bad.
No, that is
Wait,
not.
nobody here
Sorry.
knows Pythagorean theorem
I do.
No, sir.
other than Gus?
No, sir, I do not.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, that's bad, huh? Math wasn't my best subject, sir. It was writing, history, biology, science.
Hell yeah.
They don't teach the math, you know.
Okay, we're gonna watch a video together. Give me a second. I don't know if they're trolling me right now. Pythag. Let me get a short video.
I love trigonometry.
What's trigonometry?
It's fine. It's fine if you. It's fine if you don't
Geometry.
know.
Oh God, I hate geometry.
Find
Jesus, this is why I
the
didn't
right
get it.
try.
I can't stand.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it.
Let me find
Yeah,
a good
but I
video.
got the
This is
fundamental
gonna be
idea.
fun.
I know-
But
Let's
I don't,
check
I
it.
don't know it to the T, but I do remember going through this. I just don't remember how to do it. But yeah, this was a long time ago when I was in high school.
No. Hey, you know what? No problem. We're gonna watch something together, and this will kind of explain something, which I think is quite frankly very important to know, anyways. So this is gonna be valuable beyond just this.
Do you use this like on a normal basis? Like, you know what I mean?
Pythagorean theorem is one of the most fundamental things that every person in the United States should have an understanding of, because it's not just applicable in this case, but it's applicable to a lot of facets of life.
Okay, got it.
Triangles.
Oh, I know a triangle.
Squared
Looks like an A on the
equals
back of it.
boxes.
I need a good video
They're the
to show
strongest
its
shape in the world,
application.
right? That's what the pyramids
Are
made.
they? Oh, that's a good triangle there. Corporal.
Yeah, just give me a
Yeah.
second. I'm trying to get a good video that
B, C.
shows the application. Listen, I want to make this very clear, though. This is good. This is going to be good for not just Los Santos, and you'll see why in a minute. Yeah, I'm trying to look for like a good video. If you got one, feel free to post it, because it's not. It goes beyond that. It's more the application of it. Yeah, post it if you got one.
Triangles.
Hell yeah.
Let me see. Okay. All right. Everybody download the IRC app. Go ahead and join. Create an IRC app. Do not share any police-related business in the IRC. These things cannot be locked down, etc., etc. We are only doing this because it makes it easier to share shit. Join channel Night.
All right.
Let me know when everyone's in it.
Oh,
And just type your name.
I've never did an IRC before. It's
Yeah, this is my
new to
first time
me.
too.
Yep,
I
just
don't
go
even
ahead and install it.
I don't see any channels here.
Yeah, probably
You
don't
gotta
want.
hit that plus button, you
Yep.
know?
Oh, okay, I see it.
Hell yeah.
All right. All right, beautiful.
There it is.
Gus, just for future, I wouldn't put your actual name in that, just in case. But we'll talk about that later. Go take a look. Let's all watch this video in here. All right.
All right. Got it. And 3, 2, 1, I'm playing the video.
Oh,
Yep.
math shorts.
Applying the Pythagorean theorem.
Oh, this is cool.
Pythagorean.
How do I expand it from my phone?
Yeah, you hit
You're probably
the side of that YouTube's.
yeah.
Won't let me-
Well, you're
Oh.
probably better off putting it in a browser on your phone.
Shorts. Applying the
Whoa,
Pythagorean
look at this.
theorem. The Pythagorean theorem states that the measure of two legs of a right triangle squared and added together equals the square of the hypotenuse.
Yeah.
The Pythagorean theorem helps people solve real-world problems.
Wait.
Lucy usually bikes to the park along Maple Avenue, then up Silver Street. Is Canyon Trail shorter? She knows the two legs, Maple Avenue and Silver Street, are 3 and 4 miles long. Applying the Pythagorean theorem, 3 squared plus
Point
4
on the plane,
squared
baby.
equals 25. She knows that 5 squared is 25. So the hypotenuse, the length of Canyon Trail, is 5 miles. 2 miles less of
Wait,
biking
this
for
is
Lucy.
so good for training.
What if
for...
Lucy doesn't know the lengths of Maple Avenue and Silver Street? A
Back hitting
coordinate
my
plane can
pro
help.
everywhere with me.
Lucy's house and the park can be points on the plane. One at 5-1 and the other at 2-5. To find the distance
This is
between A
perfect
and
for
B
PD.
using the
Parentheses.
Pythagorean theorem,
Good.
she needs
Well
a right
done.
triangle. One way to make one is to go 3 spaces left and 4 spaces up. For the horizontal leg, take the x distance of A and subtract the x distance of B. This is equivalent to subtracting the x coordinates of A and B. For the vertical leg, take the y distance of A and subtract the y distance of B. This is equivalent to subtracting the y coordinates of A and B. Now apply the Pythagorean theorem. 4 squared plus 3 squared is equal to 16 plus 9, which when added together equals 25.
Great video.
That's
Yeah.
the same as 5 squared. Again, the length of Canyon Trail is 5 miles.
Right
Okay.
Triangles.
I want everybody to pause the video at 1 minute and 57 seconds. Let me know. Raise your hand
Yeah.
when you're good.
Ready?
All right. Maple Silver Canyon. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Tinker, you ready? I think he's still watching it.
Take it all in, Tinker.
Onyx Edition, thank you for the 1 year.
Sorry, Corporal.
As the kids these days say, 2 plus 2 is 4.
Back in
1 is
line,
3.
Corp.
Quick maths.
Back in line, Gus. All right. All right.
Now that my brain hurts, I understand it, sir.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So I want everybody at 1 minute, 57 seconds. Pause it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Give me a second here. I gotta pull up my phone again.
Yep. Let me know when you're good, Tinker.
Okay. 1 minute.
Actually,
and
let me do
50
you
seconds.
guys one better. This will be easier. 1 sec. All right. In the IRC, I'm going to go ahead and post another photo.
Uh-huh.
Okay, apparently fucking this thing doesn't work. All right, whatever. Just pause the video out there. All right.
Yeah.
So let's say Gus is currently going. Actually, you know what? I am currently chasing a vehicle. All right. Westbound Maple Street. And now it starts going northbound Silver. And I've got long eyes.
Yeah.
What road should parallel be going?
Okay, can I see what road are you on right now?
I am going westbound Maple, long eyes, and I say VCB northbound Silver Street. You guys are attempting to
Canyon
catch
Trail
up.
there.
Yes, you're going to take Canyon. Everyone kind of see the why? Right? Now, some of this is probably pretty, like, you probably know this stuff, like, via, hopefully through, like, intuition, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
So that is the way that parallel should be thinking. Like, take this concept and apply it to all the roads in Los Santos. Is that
especially in the city?
Especially in the city. The idea behind it is very simple. Is that just based on basic physics, if you are a secondary, tertiary vehicle, right, and you're attempting to catch up on the chase, you will never in a million years be able to catch up by following the exact path that primary is taking unless they get in a crash, right? Now, there are going to be times where it makes sense, right? Like, you know, if you're a driver like Tinker and you can, like, close the gap just from the turns and whatnot. But let's be honest, most people aren't going to be able to do that. And even if a driver like Tinker is able to close the gap through good turns, et cetera, you're still sort of really, you're still better off taking the parallel streets or the C squared C streets in order to close that gap, right?
Canyon
Take every
Trail.
advantage you can. Yeah, you want to keep taking that Canyon Trail.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the reason I bring that up is very simple. It's the same concept when we VCB. Is primary calls out the last known of that VCB, and you want to start slicing the pie, right? One unit ends up continuing down the VCB location. That should normally be primary. And secondary and tertiary unit should probably try to take diagonal streets in order to cut the pie. Because at the end of the day, when you start cutting the pie, that vehicle is going to have to make one or two choices. It's going to keep on going straight, at which point primary sees it, or it's going to end up having to cut left or cut right. But if we already got parallel units, right, on those opposite streets, they're going to end up having to cut through that crossroad, allowing us to get eyes back. Does that make sense, what I said with that last sentence?
Yes, Chief.
All
Yes,
right.
Chief. Yeah,
Easy.
Yes,
setting the
Chief.
pie.
Yes,
All
Chief.
right. Just in case, because y'all didn't reply really quickly, so I'm a little concerned there. These vehicles are currently in parallel, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everyone knows what parallel means?
Yes.
Yes.
If these three vehicles were on three separate streets, right?
Uh-huh.
Street A, Street B, Street C, and all three of those roads were parallel to each other, right?
Yes, sir.
And this was the primary vehicle, right? What's
Yes,
going to
sir.
happen? This
Primary's going to cut the pie.
primary's cut the
straight
pie,
across.
right?
Yeah.
And
the
so
others
this
are gonna-
vehicle that it's chasing is either going to go left onto
right.
road A, or it's going to go right onto road B.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know what I'm mentioning right now seems pretty common sense, but these are the kind of things that you should have in the back of your mind. And once you start thinking like that, trust me, motherfuckers aren't going to get away. We might VCB. We're going to code 6 and find those motherfuckers again. Let me, think about it. How did I catch that guy again in Sandy Shores? I applied
Because you
those
used a-
fundamentals.
Pythagorean theorem.
Correct. And the other thing I was
Pythagoras-
thinking in the
Pythagoras-
back of my mind, right? The other thing I was
You
thinking in
used
the
the
back of my
shortest route.
mind. Yep, that is that. Thank you, Tinker. The other thing that I had in the back of my mind is the moment Gus called the VCB. Number 2, the direction he told me he lost them. And number 3, I was maintaining in my mind the tempo at which that driver would have had to keep on driving. Right? In other words, as time went on, the perimeter and where that vehicle would be now is increasing. So you can check the tuck alleyways and stuff, which is good. But, you know, I kept sending it. And next thing you know, I saw the car. So, all right. Last thing I'm going to bring up. Any questions so far?
No, sir. I mean, I'm kind of glad that I went over that. And now
Easy.
I know what it is. Now it works.
Is any of this too much? Can we put one more thing on your plate? Or is that going to be too much?
No,
Hit
we're good.
me.
What's going on?
Load it
what's
on up.
happening?
All right. The spike, every time we spike, and Tinker, this is, you know, don't take it personally. Literally,
No, I could
everyone.
have done better. I could have done better.
Yep.
All good.
Everyone has been doing this. Like literally, I think 80% of
Mm-hmm.
spikes lately. And we're forgetting one fundamental, right? Is you as a spiker has full knowledge of what should be done, right? Not the chasing units. Now, this road actually is complete. Actually, we're going to do it over here.
All right.
Everyone follow me. Line up on the screen. This is very similar to Los Santos Freeway, right? Now imagine
very
there's
similar.
barriers. I'm going to throw a spike down.
This blue thing right here is
Look
gonna
at
be the
that.
pole.
We're fucked.
This is gonna be the light pole.
Okay, I need you over here. All right, and just listening. You see this spike?
Yep.
What's going to happen if we have the chase coming through and the spike is like this?
We're all gonna get spiked.
Yep.
Yep.
So spiking that target vehicle completely, like, is pointless, right? Now, that is kind of one of the shitty things that comes along with this. So what needs to happen is you know, you got to think of the first thing that you want to be thinking about when laying spikes down is there a gap that the pursuing vehicles are going to be able to continue through, right? And if there is not, then it is always going to be a bad spike. Why? Our vehicles are not set up to get spiked and continue on. The reality is there's a shitload of local cars that are. And, you know, there's another thing too. Even if their vehicle is shit, we always have to assume that they're going to get picked up again. See this car? Thank you, sir. You see that?
Yeah.
That might be one of those local cars, right?
He's got those big tires, man.
Yep. So what
Big
I would
boys.
do personally, like in that case, is not spike in the middle of Los Santos Freeway, right? You're going to have to find a spot like over here, right? Where there's a turnoff. And then so that you are able to spike
Oh, okay.
and get one of the lanes. If there is not a good enough gap for units to safely go through, then a spike is only going to negatively assist. It's only going to hurt
basically-
us.
So basically, try to spike an intersection. If you kind of look at that.
Well, well, in this case, yeah, an intersection. You might have
Yeah.
other opportunities, like let's say there's like a dirt path, right? Like let's say
Okay.
the barrier ended here, then you tuck your car. So that's another thing too, is that I've been seeing people do. Like it's gonna happen sometimes, right? Like let's say you're at San Andreas and Vespucci, right? It's reasonable to like have your car sort of like in the center, and then you pick and choose which line to go in. Now, you are kind of risking your life a little bit because people don't give a fuck and they'll drive into you. I think that's happened a couple times for us. But you know what the best way to spike is? I'm not saying you do this every time, but you literally tuck behind something and you don't even expose yourself. Right? And so...
They see you, they're gonna go out of their way to avoid you. Kind of.
Exactly. So, like, in the event of, like, the Los Santos Freeway one, right? Each situation depends, right? But you find a gap where you can hide yourself if possible, or get onto a dirt path so that when you are spiking, you're only spiking a section of the road that they're coming down.
Okay.
So now, like I said, whatever shit happens, it's not the end of the world. There's always going to be a reason why something went sideways. But the reason why we do this exercise is to kind of drill it in our minds and change the way we think. Now, I want you guys to spend the next 3 minutes spiking down so you have kind of a muscle memory as to the length of where it is, so that if we got a spike again later today or later this week, you kind of got a sense of how far it is. I want you to use your vehicles as well. So find a spot, 5 minutes. I'll call over radio when we're done.
This one's mine.
Yo, Misfire, thank you for the 8 months. It's not Academy time. I just don't believe in the philosophy that we just go yell at everybody and say, what the fuck? And instead use it as a learning opportunity where we can clean up a little bit. Because if these guys know it a little bit better, then they'll show the next person and the next person. You know what I mean? But instead of sitting back and just be like, this sucks, and then wait for like some like mass training thing is fucking doesn't ever work. It literally never works. All it becomes is just people, you know, complaining and expecting people to just like learn out of the blue. That's why I said, like, I don't give a shit if you supposedly know this already, but you know,
I did a successful spike on a god. Just saying.
Gus is going to be an issue at some point. I may have to pull him back at some point.
Yeah, these spikes are really long, Chief. I'm not gonna lie.
Gus is Gus. Yeah. He reminds me, like, I feel like every hour that he used to be in the PD. I used to be here in 1.0. Like, okay, great. How's that working out?